So one of the most vital questions everyone's been asking for the last couple of years and months and weeks and days and just ever since people got to play it at E3. And that question is Marvel's Spider-Man any good? Well, if you watch this video, you're going to find out. So, with that being said, minus the Puddlegate and all the other nonsense, let's roll that intro music and get on into this video.
It's been a long time. Come on. Yeah. Hey, yo, it's my life, my time, my rights, my rhymes, my grind, my struggle, hustle, sweat in my blood too. My predator smells fear, I smell a lot. My competitors flex here. They smelled I was hot, I want it all. Excess, the sex, and much success. Stress us, I want it all, no less. So come on.
Can we put some respect on Spider-Man's name? Man, over the years, Spider-Man games have come and gone, and while many were good and many were great, the reality is there hasn't truly been a definitive Spider-Man game since Spider-Man 2. There hasn't been a definitive Spider-Man experience overall that could go toe-to-toe with the likes of the Arkham Batman games. And when it comes down to it, Insomniacs' take on Spider-Man is the best and it's a true definitive Spider-Man experience that we deserve. Marvel's Spider-Man nails both the gameplay and the story. And one of the things I will always praise this version of Spider-Man for is the fact that they decided to forego the rudimentary death of Uncle Ben, as they instead went with what the MCU or Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing by skipping that entirely, as well as introducing Spider-Man as someone who has already been known as a hero. This Peter Parker is about 23 years old and has been your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man for about 8 years or so now, and has earned the anger of all the Sinister Six. The opening hours of the game are very engaging and has you facing off with the Kingpin, also known as Wilson Fisk, and from there you're brought into seeing the most stunning digital rendition of Manhattan that you'll ever see in the game this generation. Every aspect of the island is explorable, from the dazzling neon Times Square, the skyscrapers, commercial districts, and all the way to various train tracks in Harlem. There's so much to explore and love in this game that there's never a dull moment. You'll run into a gang eventually known as the Demons that are wrecking chaos all over the city, and on top of dealing with them, you'll also have to deal with the reality that Peter's life is unfortunately spiraling out of control. But thankfully, with a support system consisting of Mary Jane and Aunt May, he's able to maintain a semblance of sanity between his desire to be the hero and Spider-Man, but also the scientist and journalist that is Peter Parker. The dynamic of his conflict between himself and alter ego is superbly showcased in this game. Peter's relationship with Mary Jane has been so strained that they are currently just friends, with him working as an intern for a science lab while she works at the Daily Bugle. There's a lot to unpack with the story, and there are tons of moments that involve spoilers, but honestly, I wouldn't want to take any of those moments away from anyone, so when you go into this game, just know it's going to be phenomenal. Now, mission structures have a decent variety, and the main story missions go to cool places while the side missions are addicting. There's a lot to do, from stopping random crimes to taking down enemy bases, or even simple mini-games for Peter's research work. Spider-Man's web slinging is pure bliss. The geometric complexities of Spider-Man's web slinging has been compressed into a single button. All the player has to do is direct the swing and release before launching the next web to maintain momentum. Momentum is a massive part of this game, and with a little practice, you'll be swinging across the seas, various skylines within Manhattan, and acrobatically propelling Spidey from ledges for a quick burst of speed. And when it comes to the gameplay, you'll find that the combat has a similar setup and flow to the Batman Arkham series of games. In terms of overall feel and core mechanics, with this bare knuckle combat, and you'll even find that the stealth will feel very familiar. Just with, a Spider-Man twist to it. As Spider-Man makes combat its very own through its more open-ended fights and deployment of web-based gadgets. Now, Marvel Spider-Man is a great, good, fantastic, phenomenal looking game that runs smoothly on PS4, the PS4 Slim, and PS4 Pro. I personally didn't run into any animation or graphical hitches or issues within the frame rate, and for the most part it was smooth sailing. There isn't any real, night day or dynamic day and night cycle, or even a dynamic weather system, which, it's unfortunate, but that is dictated by the story. The world looks very, very impressive. And the character designs of Spider-Man and the villains are fantastic. Some of the villains look unique while still maintaining their iconic comic integrity. Insomniacs' version of New York is a lively recreation with all the real-life landmarks you'd expect, plus a couple Marvel-centric ones as well. And while the street population isn't as dense as I would have expected it to be, I found myself spending more and more of my time just swinging between buildings than on the ground interacting with pedestrians. And honestly, all in all, wrapping up this review, it's a certainty that Insomniac nailed their version of Spider-Man, from the gameplay, to the graphics, to the story, to the world, and it's just an immense amount of care is apparent and greatly appreciated. Spider-Man is one of the best gaming experiences I've had in 2018, coming in a very strong third place to Sega's Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, and Yakuza Kiwami 2. Marvel's Spider-Man captures all aspects of its craft from the beginning, and with its gameplay to its story elements, and even with how it hints at the future of this franchise, it ultimately wraps it all up in a very satisfying way. So all in all, Marvel Spider-Man is Kasanova approved. When this is available, go out and buy it.
And with that being said, I'd like to wrap up this video. Again, I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Insomniac Games as well as Sony, because this has been a true honor being able to review. This is the fourth game I've actually gotten from Sony. So, I've gotten Horizon Zero Dawn, I've gotten God of War, I've gotten Uncharted, Lost Legacy, and now I've gotten this. It's a true honor being able to work with Sony and other major companies. I'm a small channel, but the thing is, it's not about the amount of subscribers that you have, it's about the work, the hard work you put into your channel, the networking you do, and just, constantly grinding and mashing. And I want you guys to know that. Don't focus on subs, focus on networking. Not subs, networking. You got it, look, here, you gotta get it up here. Doesn't matter about the subs, it's about the networking and the hard work you put in. You put in the work, you'll see the results. That being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Check us out on MekelKasanova.com. It's the central hub for everything we got going. If you're on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Spotify, check us out on the Kasanova Podcast. We got interviews with all kinds of voice actors, as well as political commentators, other gamers, YouTubers, music composers, and more. So that's where you need to, if you want more of Mekel Kasanova, of our content, of our brand, that's definitely where you want to be. And make sure you hit that subscribe button, ding the notification bell, and then, you'll be set and ready. That being said, I catch you in the next one. Deuces wild, too sweet, be the elite, and I'll see you